Ready to start an amazing contracting business? You're in the right place. This video is all going to be all about sales success. If you are a new business owner just starting out, this video is for you. And you probably, sales and marketing and this kind of early lead generation side of the business is probably something you're not overly familiar with and maybe haven't done before very much. Like a lot of contractors, you're probably starting a business because you know how to do the technical side of the trade or of the contracting or management of the business. As far as production goes, but sales and marketing is probably going to be a place where you need to learn a lot. So I'm going to be sharing with you very key information to make sure that you're bringing in clients, bringing in the right clients, and selling your services at high enough prices to make sure that you are profitable and your company continues to be a success. Does that make sense? First things first is looks. So as much as we might want to say looks don't matter, they very much do in sales. The branding, the way your website looks, the way your logo looks, the way you look when you show up should, you don't have to be super polished and like nice suit on and that kind of slick car salesman look, but you should be clean. You should ideally have some of your own branding on your clothes, or at least have, like, again, a very clean, friendly outlook, so that when you're selling, you always want to look the part, essentially, of someone who has their stuff together, who is organized, who is going to do a good job. If you show up and your truck's dirty, your clothes are dirty, you smell a bit, you're just like disorganized and overwhelmed and stressed out, you're not going to give a good impression, and your sales are definitely going to suffer. So looks are very important, and when your looks are in the right place, when your branding's on point, your vehicle looks good, they've seen your website, you're hitting all the nails on the head, that whole sales process is going to be that much easier, because they are going to feel like you get them. They're going to feel like you're a good fit. They're going to feel like you're the type of person, you're the type of business that they want to do business with, that they can trust, right? Trust at the end of the day is the main reason that they're going to give you the money, that they're going to sign the contract, that they're going to move forward with you. They need to be able to trust you. And part of that is the way you look, as much as that may not be politically correct sometimes, as everybody can be anything. But in business, in sales, in branding and marketing, you want to put your best face forward. All right, so second point I'm going to be talking on, and I've got six here, six key points to sales. Before I jump into number two, give this video a thumbs, likes up. Super appreciate you for doing that. It makes a world of a difference to me, and it is awesome, and you're awesome. So number two is confidence. This is something you will build over time, especially when you're starting out your business. Your confidence is probably going to be a little bit low. Maybe you've, kind of patched that over with all the enthusiasm you have because you're starting a new business and it's awesome and you want to get sales, you want to grow, and you want to be, just the amazing company and business owner that I know you are. But confidence is what's going to lead to a sale. And confidence isn't just like rah, rah, we're the best. Confidence is like calm, collected, sure of yourself, that deep down feeling of like, I've got this, I can handle this. I know my business is worth what I'm charging. I know I'm worth what I'm charging. I know how to talk to a client. I know how to bring them to the dotted line. I know how to move the ball forward in my business and for my clients. So I'm sure you've dealt with this, where you've met a professional salesperson and it doesn't even feel like a sale. They feel like they are someone that's just guiding you to make the best decision. They're very trustworthy. They're open. They will tell you, this is good, this is not good. You know, they aren't just about making a quick sale. They are about doing the best, possible job that they can for the client. So confidence is huge. It'll come through experience. Be confident with your price. Be confident in the work you do. Even if you're starting a new business, I'm sure you have the technical background, you've done the work before. So be confident in your experience and be confident in your company. Again, you want to put your best foot forward. Be proud of the company you're building. Be proud of your integrity, of the quality of work you do. All these different things is, you want to exude confidence and have them understand that you've got this, you're going to do right by them, and that they can trust you. So that is huge. Build on your confidence, and your sales are going to be so much easier. Third thing I'm going to mention it with sales and making sure that you are really good at what you do is notes. So take some notes. There's no worse thing than talking to someone again and forgetting what they told you. that's going to leave a bad taste in their mouth. And especially like if you forgot, their names, if you forgot what they wanted, if you forgot what they had told you was important. So make sure you're taking notes. If you're on like a Zoom call or something like that, you can use Fathom. That's what I use. It's an AI note taker, super easy. If you're meeting them at their house and you're doing like a walkthrough or something, then have a notepad. Make sure you're taking proper notes. I've got other videos on how to structure that to make sure you're taking the right notes and capturing the right information. But super important to take notes and then refer to that later, because the person who knows the client best is going to win the sale. When you really know your client, what they fear, what they like, what's important to them, what kind of problems they have, what kind of, people that they're attracted to, all these different things, what kind of businesses they enjoy, what their family life is like. The better you know them, the better you understand, the better, notes you can take, the easier it is to beat a sale, because again, they're going to trust you. When people feel like you understand them, when they feel like you are interested in them, then they will be much more likely to move forward with you. Is that making sense so far? So far in the sales, this is all kind of the setup and early kind of part of the sales. Next, I'm going to be going into the closing and how to actually bring them, over the dotted line, get them to sign so that you can onboard them as a client. So just to touch on confidence, when I say confidence in the price, again, I feel like this is something that needs to be explored a little further, because in the beginning, you're going to be in that position where you're talking with a client. Maybe they ask for a discount, or maybe you're doing an estimate and you really want the job because you know it's a good one or it's a big one or whatever, and you're going to be tempted to lower your price because you want the job. Be confident in your price. If you've set a price and you know this is like what you can do the job for and you want to be profitable, stand behind that. Clients will appreciate you for it, and they will have a better experience with your company. If you go in at too low a price and you end up kind of screwing things over on the operation side of thing and losing money on it, the project's not going to go good for anybody, and it's going to make the sale, not worth it. In the end, I remember I had someone reach out to me. They were doing a renovation for a kitchen. I give them price. He's like, "No, this is too high. I've got other contractors that can do it for less." And it was something new for me. Not the renovation part of things, but just the type of project and how I was working with the client was a little bit outside of what I'd done before. So I knew I needed to price a little bit higher because I wanted to cover myself. Ended up going with someone else, which was fine. But about a year later, I believe, they called me back and they said they had a larger home renovation. They're redoing their entire home. They purchased a new home, and now they wanted me to come and quote that job. I ended up getting that much larger job. And I think part of that, I think I dodged a bit of a bullet on the first one because, again, I didn't want to take on a job that was too thin on margins, because I'd done that before and it stings, it hurts. But they respected that. They respected the confidence. And later I got a much larger project because they reached out to me because I had been confident in my services, confident in my price, confident in my business, and they realized that these larger projects was more in line with my company and the quality that they wanted. So just really touching on confidence there. Number four, moving on, jumping ahead here, still with me? Yeah, is objections. So we all hate it. You need to ask for the sale. You need to tell them, yes, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, this is going to cost you $75,000 for this project. This is, my estimate. This is why it's going to cost you that. This is what we can do the job for. Are you, are you wanting to move ahead with this? Can we get this contract, signed and out of the way so we can schedule you in and get your deposit? So that's the kind of conversation that you need to have. You need to be able to ask for money, ask for the sale, ask for whatever you need, the deposit. Be willing to ask. Don't worry about that uncomfortable. There's going to be this uncomfortable kind of time that comes up where you've prepared the client, you've talked to them, you've been really nice, you've shown them everything, you've told them the price. There's going to be this point where you need to simply look them in the eye and ask for the sale, and just go ahead and do it. And they're going to have objections. Very few sales are just like, yes, looks good, and you want, then they sign off and away you go. Typically, if that's happened, it's because they're probably a really good referral and they know you really well, or you have underpriced your job, which is not a good place to be in. But anyways, objections do come up. Generally, the one we always are worried about is price, but actually, price is usually just a smokescreen for something else. Yes, sometimes you may be overpriced compared to other guys out there, but usually the price is just a smokescreen because they don't really trust you or they're unsure about some other, stuff that's maybe in your quote or something to that degree, or you haven't branded yourself at a high enough quality or value to justify your price. So what you want to do though for every objection that comes up is always write it down. Not right at the moment with the client, but later when you are finished the sale or have left the property, you want to have a list of objections. One could be price, one could be starting, one could be that they want to check out other builders, another one, who knows. Whatever objections come up, write them down and then write out responses to them. I've got a free guide to this that has some responses for typical objections that can come up from a sale. But by doing this, you're going to practice so that when you do look them in the eye, ask for the sale, and they say, "Well, I'm not quite ready yet," or "Well, the price is a little bit too high," or "I want to get quotes from two other contractors first," or anything like that, you are going to be like, "Yes, that sounds fine. I appreciate you letting me know this. But how about this, right?" And then you can have a response ahead of time, so you're not trying to figure something out or just like kind of walking away from the sale and letting it be, because your closing rates are going to be lower and you're not capitalizing on the leads that are coming in. So I'm going to leave objections at that. Often though, when they tell you an objection, you want to dive into it. So if they say, what, the price is a bit high. What about the price is a bit high? Is there a certain portion of the price that's high? You want to ask them questions and have them kind of like dry it out. And maybe it's like, well, the price is too high because of this, and then that way you can continue the conversation. Or I want to wait longer, like another 2 months or what have you. Well, why do you want to wait two months longer? Well, we need to get our finances in place. Well, if I connected you with a company that provided financing, would you be open to taking a look at, maybe my company that can provide financing for you? And then you connect them with your financing person or what have you. So again, you want to always be asking questions and kind of diving in there. And you are the trusted advisor. You're not the salesperson. Yes, you are a salesperson, and get over it. Everybody's a salesperson. Everyone's selling something. It's just natural life, whether you're selling how nice you are, how good you are, or how hard you work, or whatever. Right? Every day you're selling something to somebody. It's just a natural human way of expressing ourselves. So, but yeah, moving on. I'll leave objections at that. Number five. So, number five is closing, and objections and closing kind of go hand in hand. But again, a big part of closing is having the process set up. So you should know exactly how you're going to close a client. Again, if they have objections, you want to be moving through those objections and then saying, "Hey, here's the contract, here's everything. If it makes sense to you, here's the pen. Can you sign on the dotted line?" You want to give them as easy a process as possible for them to sign and for them to give you money. There should be no hurdles, no speed bumps, no roadblocks. Especially if they've said they want to move forward, it should be just a seamless transition. Sign here, give me a check, or we can run your credit card, or, whatever it has to be, as easy as possible to get a payment from them, as easy as possible to sign. Electronic signatures are best because you just send it to them in an email, even if you're meeting them in person, and they sign it, it's done. They get a copy, you get a copy, and easy peasy. So that is a big part of closing. If you find a lot of the times that you are providing an estimate or a proposal for a client and you're often leaving without the sale, that is like a clue to you that you need to work on your closing. Like tricks, trying to trick people into closing, that's not the way to do it. That's not what I'm talking about. But if you've positioned yourself branding wise and you've been able to communicate with them well, and you've been able to provide, a good explanation of the value that they're receiving, the sales should naturally just lead to a sale. It shouldn't be a problem. And there is like a process to sort of set up as far as like doing like minimal work for them while getting them, kind of onboarded with your company and different things. But work on your closing. You're not going to sell everyone. And I guess a caveat to closing is if your closing ratio is really high, like if 2 out of 3 people you talk to is signing up and moving forward, that probably means you need to raise your prices. Typically, somewhere around 30% closing ratio is pretty good. Again, you might be higher, 50%, like that's great. But if you have a really high closing ratio and you can only service so many leads and you have good lead flow, then you can easily raise your prices, become more profitable, even if it means you're not doing quite as much work for people, because the people that you will be doing work for are the ones that can afford your services and are willing to pay more, which means you can provide them a much better level of service because you know you're not too worried about skimping and just doing the minimum for the project. You're able to go above and beyond because they're willing to pay for it. So, does that make sense? Moving on to number 6. So, number 6 is the key between a good salesperson and an amazing salesperson, and that is follow ups. So, follow ups are so pivotal important. The average salesperson, average contractor probably does 1 to maybe 3 follow ups. I would say do follow ups until they tell you no. Or until they just are non-responsive for maybe like 5 or 6. If you've contacted them, a number of times and they're just like totally unresponsive, then put it on the back burner. But having a good CRM in place and then having notifications is key. So continue to follow up with them. People are busy. People, don't really give you the time of day sometimes, but it's easy to send them a message, send them an email, send them a phone, or give them a phone call, send them a text message, whatever it is. Just follow up with them. Hey, how's it going? Are you still considering this project? If they tell you no, then say, no worries, that's fine. Do you mind if, I give you a call or check on you every, 6 months or every so often just to see how things are going? Wonderful. Leave it at that. And then set reminders. It should all be automated, but set reminders that if the lead's gone cold, to follow up with them in every 6 months or even once per year. And this is for clients as well as leads. Just have that touch point at least once per year. Just call them like, hey, just wanted to check in on you, see how you're doing. I know last year you'd contacted us about getting a new kitchen. I was just wondering if you had gone ahead with the work or if you're considering any new projects for this coming year or what have you. Start that relationship. Sales is all about relationships. The stronger the relationship, the more trust, the easier it is to get the sale. Even if you don't move forward with their project right now, if you've done a good job of this whole like sales process and they really trust you and like you, but they just haven't moved forward for whatever reason, you've set yourself up beautifully for the future. And when they contact you in the future, then you can get that sale. So check out the 4th video. This is the 3rd one in the series. I've got 4th one in the series. This whole series is about how to set up construction company, how to start your construction company and become successful. So go check out video number 4, and I will see you there.